Hey everybody, and welcome to video 2 in the interaction series. We're going to be going over the prioritizing interactions between items and doors. So we've got our items here, doors there. Basically, just making sure that items are picked up before doors are activated in a game. Um, I'll show you how you can just make it so they all activate if you so wish near the end of the video, as well as some bugs if you enjoy watching that. I'll try to make it brief and show why it occurred and then continue on. Let's get into it. Okay, so first things first, we're going to start with the tag system. In order to prioritize these, we're going to need to make sure that we have tags attached to the different items. So I'm going to show you how to add tags and how we're going to access them from within the blueprints without having to do any cast to nodes or anything like that. Um, I've already done part of this, so I'm just going to rewalk you through it real quick. Um, First thing we're going to need to do is create a, it's a miscellaneous, that's right, a data table. You're going to pick a structure. There is already a structure for gameplay tags. It's going to be gameplay tag table row. We're going to do that. We're going to hit OK. I named mine DT underscore interact tags. Um, you can name it whatever you want. I named it specific to interactions because these tables, you can import multiple of these into the tags. So if you want to section them off by what they're relevant to, you can. Um, Generally, you're going to want to do an overview setup of tags, and then you can do some more specific ones. But yeah, so DT underscore interact tags. I'm going to delete this one now. So opening up the interact, it'll be empty. First thing, you'll just want to hit add. It'll give you a new row. You can leave the row name itself as whatever this is. We're not going to interact with that. We're only going to be messing with the tag. And if you want to, you can add a dev comment. As you can see, I have several blank. You don't have to fill this in. This is purely for you if you want to specify what a tag does, but you maybe the name isn't like super obvious. Sorry about that, my chair just fell back a little bit. Okay, so for me, I did item base tag. Uh, this is just going to be for the item base class. If you want to, you can actually just do something like this, just item. And then whenever you're adding a sub tag, you can just do item and then period, I don't know, like weapon or consumable. And then what that does is it adds it to a sub list within the tags. I'll show you more about that in a minute. Let's go ahead and add one more here. Consumable. And then I'm going to do one more just to show this off better. Food. Okay, so we got item, item base, item weapon, consumable, consumable, and then food. So next what we're going to do is we're going to go into the project settings. And then right here under project you'll have gameplay tags. I've already got mine added. So you're going to go here, it'll look like that. You'll hit plus, and then when you open your list, you probably won't have very many data tables, if any at all, but you can search for the name, enter it, and then we're going to go to manage gameplay tags real quick, just so you can see what it does. So here are all the tags. These are some of the default ones. These are the ones we just added. So right here, you see it does like these lists. So item, item base, consumable, weapon, and then under consumable it has another subtext of tag. I mean of food. So this can be really important. Um, you're probably going to use these in every game, although obviously more complicated games are going to use these more than less complicated ones. They have a lot of usability once you learn how to use them, and they are great. Gonna close that now. Alright, so we're done with our project settings. We can go ahead and close that. Next, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to our BPI underscore interact, the blueprint interface. Gonna go ahead and open that up. And we're gonna add a new function here. We're gonna name this one check gameplay tags. Compile. Actually want to put this in here, maybe right there. Okay. Inputs. We're gonna do two. One of them, we want to make this a tag container. Mm, let's actually just make this a single tag for now. So we'll do just gameplay tag. Okay, name this uh, just gameplay tag. That's fine. And then this is simply going to be a true or false if it has the tag or not. So I'm just going to make has tag question mark. Compile, save. Now this interact, the BPI interact is already on the classes. So now all of the actors that we created before, they will come with this function and this will be added into it. We don't have to really mess with that. Let's go ahead and just compile, save all these. So next what we're going to do here, yeah, one other thing I did off camera that we're gonna have to recreate is I created a, oh, just a second, why is that read only? Oh right, this is some work I did earlier that I deleted. Okay, so for the item-based class, we've got event, interact, destroy actor. This is what we had before. We actually don't need this. Sorry. That was some testing I did earlier. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to need a variable inside of all of our actors. Anything that you're going to want to tag was going to have this. I recommend if you do like a base class item, like anything that the character can pick up, you can create this tag in the base class, and then in any future class, if you just child it off, they'll all also have that tag. It's a really easy way to just make sure all of your actors have the same tag without having to necessarily go in and do it. You're not going to want to do that for everything, but it is an option. So after you create the variable, you'll want to go down here. We're just going to type in tag. Just going to type in tag again. I would recommend doing a gameplay tag container for this one. What this is going to allow you to do is, I would just name it gameplay tags. You'll go in here after you've created it, and when you pull this down, it's going to have all of the tags that you added into the project settings. So your interactable objects, item base, consumable weapon. So what we're going to do is if it's an item, we want it to pick it up. So we'll just hit item. So anything with the item tag or anything below that in the hierarchy, like if it's item base, item consumable food, anything, as long as it has this item in it, then that means that you can, in our case, you can pick it up. So it's just going to check for that, and then it will it'll come back as a positive. So that's important to know. Just when you're doing tags, everything doesn't have to have like a sub tag if you don't want it to. That's just if you really want certain things. You want it to be classified as a specific subclass for some reason, you can do that. So this is what I had mine as: interactable object chest, interact item base. I'm just actually going to go ahead and switch that over to item. I'm going to delete my new one. So gameplay tags, interactable object chest. I'm actually going to delete this one too because we don't need it anymore. I was just testing that earlier too. So under door, you'll do the same thing again, adding that variable gameplay tag container. I made this interactable object door, and then this one doesn't have anything because this is the character. Although you can do the tags for the character as well, like the player character and enemies. There's a lot of cool stuff you can set up if you want to with AI. I'm not gonna go into any of that, but okay. So next, what we want to do is we're gonna set up the priority list now. Um, actually, let's do one more thing. So in here, um, what we're gonna do is under interfaces, you should now have this. So you have the interact one, and then you should also have check gameplay tags. So in here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna want to check to make sure that the item based class has the tag when we're checking it. So let's do make literal gameplay tag do equal. And then we're going to want to take our gameplay tag container from the item base class. We're going to want to break it because it's a container, so it can have multiple. We're going to do a for loop. We don't need to make this one a break because this is a function, so if it has the tag, this return node will automatically terminate the function. So we're just checking to make sure that this does in fact have the tag we want. If it does, it's going to immediately go to here, return as true, and then it'll terminate itself. If it goes through all of the tags and does not find our tag, then we're just going to want to simply do another return right here on completed. Does not have tag. And that's it. So we should be good there. Go ahead and compile and save again. I just do that a lot. Let me close that. Okay, so we're good there. Now let's go ahead and just make sure it works. So what we're gonna do is just to test that it's actually working, before this interact, we're going to come off here. Let's see, check gameplay tags, message. There we go. So for now, I'm gonna pull off here. We're just gonna check to see if it's an item. And then actually we'll do a branch. True. So now it's going to interact with everything in our range, see if it has the interface, check for gameplay tags, in this case just the item tag, and then if it does, it'll interact with it. If it does not, then it should do nothing. So in this case, it should interact with the chair, because that is our item, and it shouldn't interact with those. There you go. So these are our doors. They did not move. And the chair disappeared, which means it is working. Just as a quick reminder of what it did before, if I
take this, and if I just connect this straight, you'll see it should just do a straight interaction at this point with all of them, so the doors should open. Yep. So what we've done there is just made it so it interacts with the item, but not the doors. Now we're going to set it up as a priority interaction so that it will interact with the item, but not the doors, and then if you interact again and there is no item, then it will interact with the doors secondary. Let's see, to do that, we're going to need to set up some more functions. These are just going to be in the character. Okay, so let's do this. We're going to have to recreate this inside the function. So let's see, array element. Let's go ahead and just save that. Function. Let's just name it priority interactions for now. We may change that later. I'm going to control V this in here. Target, we're going to put that right there. Okay, so now let's see. This is going to have to change on the fly as well, but I think the best way to do that is just to set it manually for now. We're going to need a return node to get to interact, or we could put the interact directly inside the function. Yeah, I think we could probably do that, honestly. Yeah, I mean we need the target inside the function regardless, so let's actually a little differently. Since we're gonna have a priority list here, let's go ahead and promote this to a variable. We'll just name this all interactables. Oh, this interactables. Clear on interaction. We'll take this set. Actually, sorry. Get clear. Okay, so what this does is it just clears the interactables list. The main reason for this is in case the interactions take like, I don't know, if the whole list goes through and it takes any period of time to finish, if someone hits this twice, we don't want it to stack up multiple sets on this. It's just better to make sure it's clear when we start. So we'll do set, it'll set it up, and then we will come off here. Let's do an isValid check. True. Okay. So that should keep, I'm just going to raise that up a little bit. I don't like having my lines go through each other too much. It's annoying. Okay. So all interactables is valid. Array. Let's do that. Actually, I don't like that either. Let's do that. Okay. Really all you need to know is that all interactables is going here. Having more nodes doesn't really affect anything, it's just pulling information. So whatever makes it easier for you to read is the best outcome. Okay. And then priority interact for that part. I think we're gonna take the whole array and we're actually going to move all of this basically into a function. So let's redo this here. because what we're actually going to do is pull this out. We're going to, I'm not actually going to use this. It just makes it easy to get. Instead of the target there, delete that. That's fine. Just set this over here for now. Okay, refresh. Where is it? Yeah, refresh node. Oh my gosh. I'm just going to delete that for a second. So it clears. Now refresh. Why did it do that? Ah, right, of course, because it's a function. So it always has to have that node so it knows who's doing it. Okay, so we got that is valid into priority interactions. Actually put that back down now. Okay. File save. Priority interactions. So now what we're going to do is going to do a loop. That's fine. Now we're going to do the check gameplay tags. Item has tag. Do a reroute here. Let's do this. We actually don't want to use this yet because we want the function to keep going until every interaction is done. So item branch true interact, and then we're going to create a local variable for this. Let's name it, I'm just going to name it temp interactions. And then every time that it checks a gameplay tag and it moves on, hits true, we're going to want to remove the interaction from the temp. So we'll do remove item. So remove the item from the temp interaction. And then once this is finished looping, we will go down here. We're going to set up another one. Sorry. We're going to set up another loop. And we're going to do, let's do doors loop. And then we're basically just going to copy this actually. Actually, we could really copy it. I don't know, it's so pretty, I don't want to mess with it. Let's just do a straight copy. I don't really like doing that, but it works. Okay, so now it'll interact with the items first, and then once it's done with all the items, it'll interact with the door. Now, one more thing we want to do here is, let's say you want it to interact with these in order, but if there's anything that brings up a UI element, like a chest or crafting table or something like that, if there's an item there, you want it to interact with the item, but you don't want it to open up the chest on this interaction. Like, you'd want them to have to hit the button again to interact with the chest. I'll just save that. What we're going to do here is, if it ever hits true, we're going to do a local boolean. You know what? Actually, let's just do it here. So we'll do local boolean. We'll do let's just say any items. You can name this whatever you want, but basically it's going to be a stopgap to make sure that if there are any items or any doors, that it doesn't open up or try to interact with multiple of those interfaces at the same time. So we'll hit set, and then if it goes through, you know, as a test, we can go ahead and put it right here, and we'll do a branch. This isn't going to be the prettiest. So, if it hits any items before it gets to this point, it'll hit false, and then the interaction will just stop. Nothing else will happen. Oh, what do I have here? Ah, there we go. Okay, so now, let's see if this works. Oh, it didn't work at all. Let me double check and see why that happened. Okay, I figured it out. So that was a stupid move on my part. We do need this remove to exist, but it shouldn't be here. It needs to be after, because if it removes it from the interactions before it actually interacts, then obviously it doesn't do anything. So that was dumb. Let me put that there. Oh my gosh, just Alt. Double clicked it. Okay, so do that. I gotta move this one too real quick. Just do that for now. True. I can actually kind of straighten these a bit. Okay. Okay, so now that should work. You see, the doors did not activate. If I hit interact again, and they did not activate. Ah, right, of course. Okay, so we've got this set up. I believe all of that's right. For the base item class, right here, where we did the check the gameplay function, we never created one under the door. So let's go ahead and go to the check gameplay tags under the door actor. We'll do base item class. This can pretty much be copy pasted one for one. They're basically doing the same thing, and the information is all external, pretty much. So we added the gameplay tags into door earlier. I'm just gonna remove that. So plug that in. We're gonna pull that, so that pulls the tag, gameplay tags, loop, there. All the other information is already in place. So let's go ahead and try again. Okay, interesting. Not sure why one did, but not the other. So that sort of worked. Huh. Let me see something. Let's try going here. Yeah, okay. So let's see, why is that door different? So yeah, I created these earlier. Let me make sure. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Let's create a couple more here. And a couple more items. Okay. My best guess on what's happening there is I believe it's occurring twice. Oh yeah. Don't really need any of this. I'm just going to push it off to the side for a minute. So on trigger, fire every frame. I believe it's triggering multiple times. So I'm going to try to change it to started. And just to replicate what we had a second ago, just going to remove these. Okay. Now as for why it's only working on one door at a time, let me look through it and I'll see what I can figure out here. Okay, so I got it fixed. For some reason, it looks like when it's removing from the temp interactions, it's sometimes removing multiple instances. We don't want it to do that. And instead of going through and adding all the items as unique, I was thinking about it and I don't really think we need this. So we're just going to be doing straight interactions. It's already checking for tags, so that shouldn't cause any problems realistically. Um, I was doing that mostly to try and prevent bugs, but I couldn't see any occurring, so kind of show you what's going on now. Got this, just picks up all the items. This, no doors activated, and then all the doors within range open. Now, obviously in a real game, you probably wouldn't want multiple doors to open at the same time. So you just want the door in front of you. You also probably wouldn't put like 30 doors right next to each other, so it's probably not going to be an issue just in general. Um, and if you want it to pick up the items and then open the doors, you would just do that. Like that. So this is functioning. As we go, we'll set up more priority interactions here. and I'll see if I can think up another way to do this without causing the same issues we had a second ago. Yeah, so stay tuned, and I'll update the series, make it a little bit better. We'll add some more priority interactions um, between doors, chests, only doing like one door at a time, or one chest, and we'll keep working on it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and any comments or video requests, feel free to post them below.